Okay, so in the data driven there are four types of data driven testing. One is accepting the test data from keyboard. Forget about dynamically, it's just keyboard, so that confusing you. And second type is flat file, taking the data from flat file. Third one is taking the data from front end objects. Fourth one is taking the data from Excel spreadsheet or data table. So our automation program will be driven over this data. That's why we call it data driven. Data drives the automation program on our application project, that is application under test AUT. So from keyboard driven, what do? You have to accept the data from the user whenever there is a step to accept. For example, username, password. So I use the input box, and automatically whenever you have to enter username, it prompts you, so by means of input box. Then I'll take this, store this in a variable is dim variable, and pass the same variable over here. So that will be set. Whatever I enter, same thing Qtp will enter into that field, username, password. So this is a simple test case. So before going, I'll go to our test case again here. So what I'm doing is I am accepting the data from keyboard dynamically, in the sense I am accepting whenever it is required, so only at the time it will prompt. So here I want to log in 2 times, so I am initiating a for loop that runs 2 times, and then using the input box to accept username, password, and synchronizing for 5 seconds. And then here I am simply navigating through the browser, username field, password field, and clicking, and then clicking on the sign up. That's it. So here, instead of repeating this browser dot page dot, I already told you, with this kind of looping. So with loop, it will simply look like repeating everything. Okay, so if you repeat something, how do you put a with? Automatically you can also put with. Automatically you can put with the step generator, I think. Should be somewhere. Okay, otherwise you can also put with. So here somewhere it's a part of not library functions, built-in functions, I guess. Not built-in functions either. Local script functions, no, it's not a function, it's maybe utility objects. No, it doesn't come under step generator. Okay, so somewhere I have seen with, but if you remember with and end with, that's the loop. So whatever you want to repeat, you put it in the with. So this is what I want to repeat. Without with, it will simply look like, you want to see how it looks like. So I can also write this. If you are getting confused, then I can simply show you. Okay, so this is the one line. Again, second line, you have to repeat the same thing. You following?
Yeah.
Again, for the third line, I have to repeat this. Again, for the fourth line, I have to repeat this. So basically, instead of repeating, that is a smart way to code. So here, instead of repeating the same thing, I just put a with. That's the Qtp's feature. So this is how it looks like. So what I have to do? Okay, I have to find out that browser dot page dot. This is pure coding. If you understand this, you understand everything. Gautam, concentrate. So browser property name is equal to colon is equal to property value dot page property name colon is equal to property value. Same thing. Everything goes the same way repeatedly. Dot set username. Okay. So here browser dot page are common for each element, because you are only doing these operations in the same page, same browser. If you go to different page, it will differ. So instead of doing this repeating, I just put a with. However, both are fine, both will work. So if the code is understood, I will run the program. Okay. Okay, expected end of statement, where it is, end of statement is missing somewhere. So line number 11, if you get any synchronization errors, okay, here line number 11 has some problems. Okay, how do you see? So here before dot there is a space, that's a syntactical error, that's why it's showing. So you have to remove, there shouldn't be any spaces. Okay, now if you save, no errors, it's gone. So I'm going to run it. What is the test case? If you understand the test case, you can write the program. The test case is simply log in, log out 2 times. That is the data driven, more than 1 time. Okay, now what is it doing?
So anything more than one time is data driven?
What is that? More than 1 time what?
Anything if I want to do more than 1 time is called data driven? To use data driven?
Yeah. More than 1 time, you can do it more than 1 time, any number of time, 100 times. That is the whole point of data driven testing. So if you just want to do 1 time, it's not data driven, it simply comes under keyword driven or module driven. You can just simply put it 1 time. Basically you are calling a function in the keyword driven, you are calling a action in the module driven, right? Whereas in the data driven, you are calling it not just 1 time, multiple times. So it's the same thing but repeatedly doing. That's what is called a keyword driven. Okay, so we got error. Last time it worked fine. 13, line number 13, it's showing some error. Okay. What is the dot link? Sign off, it couldn't sign off, that's error. Okay, let's see. So with using with, it worked fine. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to revert back to the code. Probably we must have typed something wrong, but if you see, it looks okay to me. Dot link. Okay, now I got it. So this particular page is different, so we have to use, because the first page, login page, is different. Only after login, this is the second page, right? So for the first 2, username, password, the page name is correct, whereas the second page, it may be different. So what I have to do is I have to use the object spy. So see, simply we want to know the page name or browser name here, so simply click on somewhere. Okay, now the page name is, just go by the title, Find a Flight, Mercury Tours. Okay, now let's compare. See here, Welcome Mercury Tours is the first page in the login. When it logged in, the second page name changes, that's why it's not working. It couldn't find, the whole path is wrong. So here we have to use this one. However, let's use the browser name also. Let's check the browser name. Browser name is Find a Flight Mercury, right? That's also different name. See, name is equal to Welcome Mercury Tours, that is different. Find a Flight Mercury Tours, okay, this is different. So same way we have to capture this. Just copy this and store it somewhere in the notepad or something, just for temporarily. Okay, so remember, this is the browser name. name, both are same. Then click on the page here, and title. For page we are using title, right? Browser is a parent, page is a child. So title, you copy the same thing. Basically it's the same thing, only the property value changes, and rest of the story is similar. Name of this is similar, and everything is correct. So I'm going to close this. Simply have to replace this. Alright, so I'm going to replace this one. Sorry, not login. So the error was in 13th page, right? So we are good with 12th line. 13th line is wrong. So you're understanding what I'm doing. So otherwise you ask questions. Username, password, login button.
The browser name should also be changed, right?
That's what
Hello?
That's what I did, right?
No.
Somo.
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah.
Okay. See,
Yes,
okay.
yes.
Here, Somo, listen
Why
carefully.
you should not be changing login?
Listen. Browser, this browser name, page name are similar for all these three. Username, password and login button all are in the same page, first page. Login button should be in the first page, right? Otherwise you couldn't log in. Then second page changes. Second page is find a flight. Once you logged in, you have to find a flight. So the browser name, page name changes to find a flight. That's where you find the sign off button. So here again, now you understand. Okay, now here I had to change this. Okay, now once you log off, right, let us check instead of doing so.
The title you did not change. Title did not change.
Yeah, so now again come back to this page. Listen, so you come back to this page. That means
No, go to the script.
Yeah, yeah, tell me.
No, the page again, welcome multi-tool, the last line.
Yeah, I am coming there. We have corrected the 13th line, right? 13th line is in the sign off button. Once we clicked on the sign off button, we come to this page. Now 14th line is concerning this page. Now again I have to find out the property name and value. Okay, now click somewhere on the username or something. So go all the way top to here, then check the name. Again the title is sign on Mercury Tours, right? So once you logged in, this will be your title. Name, even if you want to find name, sign on Mercury Tours. So again it changed. So I'm going to copy this. And if you come to page, this is the only way when you do scripting. This is the only way. Title, sign on Mercury Tours, same thing. So after sign off, you are in this page. So again it's a sign on, but little bit different page, not the home page. This is a different Mercury sign on page. So here the name of the browser changes to this, and the page of the browser also, page name also changes to this. Okay, now now after clicking, it clicks on the home page, right? Here, so this is the one it's looking for. So once it clicks on the home page, again it comes back to this, whose name is Welcome Mercury Tours. So again back to Welcome Mercury Tours, second time. So again it enters the username, password and clicking. All these three objects are in the same browser, Welcome Mercury Tours. So see here, username, password and sign in, all belong to the same browser and same page, Welcome Mercury Tours. Now back to, so let's try and run now this. It is very simple. If you understand this one, you can understand more complicated programs. Okay, now it is asking the username. So just remember, you have to keep this open, but on the background you have to keep this. Now it will ask the password. Password is Sangam again. Now it will enter the username and password after 5 seconds, because we are waiting for 5 seconds. So enter, clicking on the sign on button. This for the first time. So here second page, click done. All the steps are done faster. Now it is asking the second time. This is the second iteration. So for loop running second time. That's why it is asking the same username again. Now I am going to enter the same username because I don't have other usernames registered. So again it will perform the same operation. The main intention of this is to repeat some operation more than one time. Okay, now it is again entering, again signing in. Okay, now again sign off and again come back to home page. Okay, now done. Only after doing all these iterations it will end the execution and open the test results. So here on the test results it shows the same steps. First, launch the application, enter username Sangam, password Sangam. Here click on sign on button, done. That is done. Sign off button, home page, done. So again it is repeating the same process second time. So here it is not showing the second iteration separately because for loop is not considered as iteration technically. So this is the limitation for the keyboard. Normally in your project you don't use the keyboard dynamically unless it is required. So the other processes are very important, more important than the first one. So the keyboard dynamically is normally not used. Just for the sake of learning, I have shown it to you, because if you enter key in the keyboard, then there is no point in the automation because you are manually intervening.
Okay.
So the second flat file is important in some sense because you don't have to interfere. Automatically it will run the whole program. You don't have to enter in again. So that's a true automation, right? So let us take a look at the second step, second type, that is called DDT with flat file data or text or CSV file, whatever file you want to use. DDT means data driven testing. So here, so you are going to store all your data, username, password, whatever data you want to store in the flat file, and then you have to write this code in order to fetch the data from flat file QTP and run it, drive it over the data. So I will simply explain this code how it works. So for this you need to create a file system object. VB scripting provides a file system object which is a built-in object. So what it does is, hello. Okay. So what?
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Sangam.
Okay, so what I'm trying to do here is I'm creating a file system object, FSO. Set means it is setting. It is just like creating a new instance of an object in the Java. So if you know Java, you can compare it with, otherwise don't worry about it. Only few lines if you understand, that's fine. So create object is a method which takes file system object, scripting.file system object, which are built in, so don't worry about it. I am simply creating a file system object called FSO. Okay, so that means I am creating it and storing it in FSO. Now using FSO I can open the file, read the file, do whatever I want to do with the file using this file system object. So that's exactly what I'm doing. FSO dot open text file. There is a built-in method. It's already in the built-in created.
So that is always FSO?
Always open text file.
It's always FSO by default?
No. This is your name. Whatever. This is like
Hello?
Sangam. Hello.
Yes.
Okay. So this is the variable name.
What is FSO? It's always FSO or what?
Listen. That's what I'm saying. FSO is a name. You can put Somojit, whatever. This is just a name. Using this name, I am invoking a method called open text file. So for the simplicity, I am putting FSO just for the sake of understanding. FSO means file system object, so it's understandable. So otherwise, you can use whatever is on the left side of the equation. The name can be anything, ABC, XYZ, whatever you can put, but just put it meaningfully. So that's what I did. This is meaningfully, their naming convention should be meaningful. So FSO means file system object. Okay, somebody else reads it, right? So you should be able to understand it. So now using this file system object, I can open a text file. There is a built-in method called open text file. Don't worry about it. You just have to remember it. You have to remember that there is a function open text file which opens a text file. To read some text file, you have to open it first logically, right? So this method takes path of the file where you have stored the file on your Windows laptop, C drive, my documents, wherever. So the whole path should be given as a string. Then file open mode. There are different file open modes here. If you look in the downside, okay, there is a read only method, there is a write only method, and there is a write only mode, there is a read and write. So what it means is, here I can enter 1, 2 or 8. If I enter 1, it will only read from the file. If I enter 2, it can also write something into file dynamically at execution runtime. So if I need, I can enter 2. If I want to use both read and write, then you can enter 8. Okay. So file creation flag. What is a file creation flag? File creation flag means if the file is not created automatically, do you want to create it? QTP can create it. If you have not already created manually at the particular folder where you have stored, where you want to store the data, or where you have already stored data, then the file creation flag can do it. That means you can mention it. If you set the file creation flag to true, file creation is required when specified file is not available. That means you are asking QTP to create the file for you. Alright. If you set this false, that means you have already created the file text, something like testdata.txt, testdata.csv. Then you are telling QTP that don't create the file, I have already created the file. That's what it means. Okay, now again simple fso.openTextFile method takes 3 arguments. One is the complete path of the file, C drive / text test data / test data.txt, that's the whole path. File open mode 1, for example. File creation flag false because I am going to create it. Now since that, don't worry about the example, I will give you the example. I am just explaining the theory, the code, how it works. I will again show it to you. Just try to understand, just listen to what I am saying, you will understand it. Okay, now your file test data.csv or test data.txt, that file will contain multiple lines, right? You are going to repeat it. Just like I said, data driven is all about repeating same step again and again. So for example, if you want to repeat 5 times login 5 times, then you have to provide 5 sets of usernames, 5 sets of passwords, each in a new line, separate line. So first line will contain Sangam comma Sangam, second line will contain Somo comma Somo, like that, 5 lines. So since you are repeating the lines, you are going to switch to next line. You have to use some kind of loop, for loop or while loop. That's what I am doing, while. Now what I have to do, you have the file. Okay, I will show you the file simultaneously. Here let us say this is the file. Okay, so here Sangam comma Sangam, always separate by comma. Somo comma Som, and Gautam comma Gautam. Let's say 3 times. Okay. Now this is the first line, second line, third line. This is your test data file. Now logically I have to run this till it reaches the end of the file. End of the file is this, where the cursor is blinking. After this there is no line. See, that means that is end of line. So what I am trying to do is, logically I am telling QTP that until you reach the end of the file you run it. That means f dot, whatever I am opening the text file, right, I am storing all the details in another variable called f. Using this f I am trying to run over the different lines, all the lines in the your file. How, I don't know how many lines you must be having, 1000 lines or 1 lakh lines, or I don't care. Okay, here at the end of the line is not true. This is not true. That means until the end of the line is not reached, just run it. That's what it means. This is a symbol for not equals. So first time what it will do, it will come here, it will run the test case over this data login. Now it checks the condition. Is it the end of the line? No, right? It's not end of line. So here the condition is what is the condition? At the end of the line is not equal to true. It's false, right? It's false. The false condition is satisfied.
One question. At end of line is a function?
Yeah, it is built-in function again. Whatever I used is a built-in function. Nothing is a user defined function. At end of the line is a built-in function, automatically checks if the cursor is at the end of the line. If it is not equal to true, then it reads f dot read line. It reads the whole line. That's what we want, right? We want to read the whole line and puts this Sangam into the username field and puts this Sangam into the password field. So I am storing it in an x variable. And okay, 1 second, let me finish it. Then ending the while loop. Then you have opened whatever you open file system object, you have to close it, otherwise it will leak the memory leakage will happen. So whatever I open, I am closing, f dot close. Okay, so this is simple but complicated. Only if you see couple times you will understand. Okay, go ahead with your questions now. I'll show you before showing the example.
Yes, Sangam.
Go ahead. Gautam.
Sangam, Somu, Gautam. These are key value pairs, right? These are like key value pairs. Username and password.
Yeah, these are the username and password, whatever you wanted. Okay, for example.
Those are the key value pairs, right? Key value pairs, key and value.
So this is the header. Username, password, Sangam, whatever you can put, whatever you want. Mercury, since my username password are same.
Actually they are called key and value pairs, right?
Key in value based.
Actually in Java they are called key value pairs.
Don't worry about Java. Java is different, VB-script is different. In Java it's totally different. So this is VB scripting. Here this is whatever you are separating comma, this is considered as one value. It always looks for the comma. That's why you call it a comma separated value file. This is going to be saved as CSV file. I'll show you. So here test data, tst dot CSV. If I save it, go for the all files always. So you can here you can open it with Excel. Normally, since it is a comma separated, it automatically finds. Okay, my Excel is not working. Forget about it. So the comma separated values this thing is, the importance is wherever the comma is found, it divides here. It treats the whole this as a separate entity and this as a separate entity. And if you want to enter more details here, password and then date of birth, gender, Just don't put spaces, just put a comma, automatically the QTP will read it.
One question, how does it know which is for which value is for which field?
Yeah, that's a good question. That's what we are going to use it in our program. This is the part of the program, right? I just explained how do you read from a flat file, this whole code. Where do you put what? That is the next step. So here, so this time automation program for data driven test accepting input values from a flat file. Second example. Okay, listen carefully. Option explicit, good practice. Declare the variables, different variables. I for counter, FSO is file system object, F is various store open text file, username is what you want to enter in the application, password same thing, N and M, few extra. Let's see what are the importance. So first launch application using system.run. Then same story, using the F is file system object, you create the object scripting.file system object, say you write the same line, then set F is equal to, using FSO I am opening the text file, first argument will be total path of your text file, that is where my text file is stored, sangam.txt, and then 1 means read only mode, that means I only want to read. False means don't create the file, I have already created the file. Now while loop till end of the line is not reached, read the line using this F. What that means, the whole content of this file is in the F now. Now F dot read line only reads one line at a time. Now the line contains commas, right? Now QTP doesn't understand. QTP doesn't understand, it just reads the whole line, but we have to distinguish. Now we already learnt about the split function, how to split it, where to split it. Using split, I am splitting the whole line wherever you find the delimiter is comma. The split function we already seen. Now the whole thing is stored in an array variable, so M0 will contain Sangam and M1 will contain Mercury. That means first line, if you take M0 is the first array element, right? This whole thing is stored in the variable called M, which automatically becomes a array variable. I showed you already in the VB scripting. So the M0 will contain username, M1 will contain password, M2 will contain DOB, whatever. So blah blah blah, it will go until end of the line. See, that's what here, M0 Sangam, whatever you enter. Now that is the reading the file. Now your actual program will start here. Actual program is this one. So what is your actual program? You are again doing the same thing that I have shown in the first example. You are opening a browser, then you are setting the username. So here how you are setting, since your first value username stored in the M0, right? So that's how you are passing this value. M0 will contain username, M1 will contain the password. So the whatever first name you are seeing here, that will be stored in M0 using the split function. So M1, and rest of the story is same. Clicking on the login button, clicking on sign up button, clicking on the home page. Understood?
Yes, Sangam.
Okay, good.
Sangam,
I am going to run this program. Oh yeah, go ahead.
after this short Sangam, like really early tomorrow, 1:30 or 2:00. So I have to get up around like 5:30 or
Oh, okay. So I'm just going to run this program. Okay, so this is called data driven underscore keyboard, right? Now next program I will save the same program but do little modifications whatever we have done. So because the whole program remains the same, only the the way you are doing it is different. It's more sophisticated, flat file. So instead of keyboard I will call it, what should I call it? read from a flat file, right? So I'm just putting data driven using a flat file. That's what it means. Okay, so I am saving it as a different file, but I'll change the mechanism. Now you tell me, how do you change? So here for loop concept is gone. For loop is very amateurish way, right? So you simply take up the for loop. What do? You read it from some file. So you have to use a file system object. So the whole program I have actually tried to copy here. So what I'm going to do is, okay, so I'll take some lines but delete other lines, and I'll explain again, don't worry. The whole thing came, right? I copied. Okay, we just wanted this code, file system object code. You don't remember it, so what you will do, you can copy paste in your project, don't worry. So the whole set of 3 lines, it's basically same lines. Anybody uses same lines, your project manager uses same lines, so don't worry about it. How do you get it? Where did you? It's pretty much similar, it's pretty much standard. Okay, all right. No, I have to basically cut it here because it's whole thing is copied in single line, right? Don't worry, I'll show. So first of all, make sure that this path exists, otherwise it will throw error. So if you want to make changes, make changes. So let us put our file name, file in a C drive, in a folder called test data, right? Always put a backward slash, that's a path, and I am going to put test data.txt. Doesn't matter, txt or csv, both will work, both are flat files. So just go to, yeah, both are considered as flat files, txt or csv. So C drive, go to C drive, it doesn't matter, wherever you want you can put it, doesn't matter. Okay, this is used for another example, Excel spreadsheet, so we'll use this later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a new folder here. What is the folder name? Test data. Okay, in the test data, what I'm going to create, another file called test data again, test data.txt. So if it automatically takes, okay, you have to put the extension explicitly. Okay, now in this file you have to actually enter your data. So what I'm going to enter, simply same thing, I am going to use the same example, Sangam comma Sangam, first iteration. Only the difference is this will show in the results as iteration, first iteration pass, second iteration pass, unlike in the first example it wouldn't show. Since I only had one username registered, I have to use the same thing. So let's run this 2 times so that it will be quicker, faster, and just close it. So make sure that everything is correct. Now close it. There are 2 lines. Now path is test data, C test data, right? So just let us go to our program, C test data, make sure that all are exactly the whatever we have given, test data, D capital, case sensitive, .txt. I am opening in the read only mode, and the file creation flag is false. That means I have already created. QTP don't have to create it. Now
can it be anything other than read only mode?
Yeah, this can be 1, 2 or 8. I showed you, right? 2 means read and write. Write means if I want to fetch some data and runtime I want to enter, I want QTP enter data, QTP to enter data here in the file, then I have to put 2, read only mode. So read only mode actually it's not writing. So if you want to both read and write, then you have to put 8.
Writing, how will QTP write? what is
QTB
that
write,
scenario?
I'll show you later. QTB writes, for example, if you want the QTB to write something here, it will write like this and save it. Next time you come here and open it, it will be there. I'll show you to that example later. Okay, so for the time being, we'll just see the simple example, then go to the complex example, so you will understand. Okay. All right. Okay. So I'm just putting every line in. So this will be your Sangam. Sangam, right? So here M0 will contain Sangam, M1 will contain Sangam, but I don't want to pass it like this. I want it to fetch from the file. So I'm going to comment it. This just for the example sake, I just showed it to you. Okay. So now this line comes next, and this line comes. Every line should be in a new line, otherwise it will throw error. Okay, yeah. So what వెళ్ళిపోయిందా 2 నిమిషాలు ఆగా ఇది ఇప్పుడు వచ్చింది మళ్ళీ బ్యాక్ వచ్చింది 2 నిమిషాలు లేదు ఇది ఒకటి కంప్లీట్ చేస్తే అయిపోతుంది కదా మళ్ళీ రిపీట్ చేయాలి అది ప్రాబ్లం సరే వెళ్ళిపోండి కానీ సగంలో వెళ్ళిపోతే మళ్ళీ రిపీట్ చేయాలి కదా ఇది ఎక్కడికి పోవట్లేదు అసలు ఏమైంది 9:30 అయింది కదా రెగ్యులర్గా స్టార్ట్ చేసే టైం కదా అని మళ్ళీ వీళ్ళు సరే ఇంకేంటి ఇంట్రెస్ట్ లేదు నాకు ఇంట్రెస్ట్ అంటే మళ్ళీ